And we're on. Well, that transition from the opening credit to live in the studio is getting cattywampus.
A little awkward, but hey, we're here.
We're here.
Yeah.
I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Thursday, the 27th day of September 2018. Steve Air, news guy, right there. Cat's in control. Gearing up for a big weekend around here, around the old television Metroplex, the broadcast Metroplex. We got high school football tomorrow night. The Wenatchee Panthers host the Moses Lake Chiefs Autumn Leaf Parade on Saturday. I know you have a big weekend planned, Steve. Lots of things going on in the Hare household.
You bet.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
You got nothing, do you?
Absolutely.
Well, thank goodness we have a good show for you. Thanks for starting your day with us, by the way. We appreciate it. Second half of the show, Alan Moen. You're a friend of mine, Alan Moen.
I love Alan.
Yeah, he's one of the great guys up there in Entiat, the gateway to recreation. He and his wife has had the Snowgrass Winery for quite some time, and they're having a little party on Sunday afternoon, and they're inviting everybody to come up and say hi.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great conversation with Alan. He's a really neat guy. Alan came by a couple of days ago to tape his conversation. Alan, like a lot of my guests, don't do 6:45 in the morning. They just don't do it. So in that case, we tape the conversation portion of this program in advance, and that's the case with Alan. He'll be in the second half of the show.
Yeah, always a lot of fun.
Yeah, Steve's got the news coming up in just a little bit. Lots of news to get to on this Thursday, and it's going to be a very busy news day as well. We got our seatbelts ready to go on that one. Sports, the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. Kennel cameos, because it's Thursday. See if we can get Izzy the dog home. Izzy the dog.
Okay.
From our friends of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, which is the best humane society in the state of Washington. Period.
I'm kind of partial to them.
Yeah, I think every animal I've ever had, with maybe one exception, I think my first cat was like, here, my cat had kittens, take a cat. Outside of that, I think every animal I've ever had came from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Same here.
So.
Thumbelina.
She
came to us from the shelter with that name, as a matter of fact. So.
Our dog Lady, we got when she came down and did the radio show with you and me, and I just fell in love with this dog. She was a Corgi Collie mix, and I just loved her. And that was on Wednesdays. It would come down on Wednesdays, and back then, it's not the case anymore, but back then the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society was closed on Wednesdays. That's one of the reasons they could come down and do the show. And as soon as the show was over, I called Pam Baker, who was running the show at the time, and I said, I really want to adopt Lady. He said, well, can you come down on Thursday? Because we're not open today. And I said, no, I want to come down now. And she actually met me down there and opened the gates, and I interacted with her a little bit. We did the paperwork, and I took her home on a day I wasn't supposed to take her home. And she's just a wonderful dog. Yeah. Had her for about 10 years.
Very well-mannered, well-behaved.
Yep, she liked you when she came over. Thumbelina, Steve's dog Thumbelina is like the love muffin. Oh, it's a person, hello.
Oh, gosh,
yeah. She's a glutton for love.
Glutton for affection.
Yeah, she really is. Enough dog talk. Let's take you around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley, from our 4K cross camera. A few high clouds, so that kind of kept the temperatures down a little bit, Steve. We were, National Weather Service was predicting a high of about 79 or 80. On Wednesday, we only hit 74 because we had a little bit of filtered sunshine. There's still a big high-pressure ridge. It's now moved north. It's over the Gulf of Alaska. So we have a couple of passing high clouds. That's going to be the case
Perfect
today.
Weather, really. It's
gorgeous weather. Chilly in the morning. You know, the kids better have a sweatshirt on at the bus stop, but by the afternoon when school's out, it's nice and warm, and it's shorts and T-shirt kind of weather. Hang on to this while you can, because, of course, we're losing about 2.5 minutes of daylight today as we get closer and closer to winter. I don't even want to talk about that. Camera 2. Kat says, let's go see what's happening up number 1 Canyon. Pointing, what direction? I guess that is kind of pointing toward, you can see the Columbia. You can make it out about in the middle. And you can see the
calm day.
Beautiful sunrise. We're about 8 minutes into the day. Sunrise was about 6:54, so about 10 minutes into the day on this Thursday. Gorgeous shot. Nicely done, Kat. We don't get to look at these in advance, Steve. We're seeing these for the first time. The folks at home are seeing this too.
So if the Chelan Butte looks like an elephant, what does this look like?
Oh, that they call that the White Cliffs of Dover, I believe. Camera 3. There's Lake Wenatchee on a beautiful day. Very blue
that's pretty
up there. Lake Wenatchee's a gorgeous area. It's a beautiful area. We call that the Two Rivers camera. We can point that the other direction. Oftentimes we point it right up the White River Valley. So that's a gorgeous. And that tower is about 300 feet in the air. It's
That's where you got to
way
go
up there.
golfing up to Kaler Glen.
Kaler Glen's a great place to golf.
A beautiful little golf
Yeah,
course.
especially if you want to lose golf balls.
Pretty challenging. It's got some pretty narrow fairways.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You're either on the course or you're in National Forest Service land. There's no in between up there at Kaler
The last
Glen.
time I actually walked 9 holes was at Kaler
Oh,
Glen.
okay. It's a walkable golf course. Camera 1, 2, 3, 4. Camera 4 is a shot of Billy Goat. Now this is one we did look at earlier because Kat had it up on the
We're
monitor
zoomed in here.
in the studio. She's going to show us a time lapse, so you're going to see sunrise, and you're going to love it.
There's a
It's just okay. We're going to see a little screenshot of.
there's
Look
the
at
bridge to Bridgeport down there below.
That is
the
about
terrace on the left.
25 minutes ago, Steve. Yeah,
Brewster.
isn't that-
Oh, we're
yeah.
looking. Okay, I beg your pardon.
That's just incredible. Great shot. That's a live shot now, and what you just saw was a shot of about 25 minutes ago of the sun coming up over the lovely Brewster area and the mighty Columbia. And there we go, zooming back.
Good morning to Gebber's Farms.
There you
out
go.
there in Brewster.
You can see Pateris, the Medhow. Good looking shot. Good stuff, Kat. I love that. Might be my favorite camera. And we have a lot of cameras, and we're getting more cameras all the time.
That's right.
We're going to have some cameras in the not too distant future out in the Columbia Basin. We do have the one out there in Monument Hill, but we're moving east. We're going to have some more cameras out there, so
Out
we'll
there
be able to
the,
check in with the basin more
Grant
often.
County, yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to that. 6 minutes after the hour, let's do your forecast from the National Weather Service. Looking good. Not as good as Steve, but looking good. More warm daytime highs. A weak cold front, not really packing a big punch. It's going to come in tonight into Friday, Steve. As you can see, it's not really going to affect us a great deal. A little cool down, really not much. Just the slightest chance of a light shower Saturday afternoon and early Sunday in the mountains. Not so much here. The cold front, all it's really going to do is cool us down to more seasonable temperatures. 79 today, 78 Friday, 74 Saturday, 69 on Sunday. Autumn leaf parade on Saturday looks pretty good indeed. It will be chilly when it gets started. Of course, Leavenworth is always a good 4 or 5 degrees cooler throughout the day than it is here on the valley floor. Really no wind to speak of. Slight chance of light rain. Very pleasant autumnal weather. I
And the
will take
leaves
it.
are turning too up in the Tumwater.
Yep,
It'll be
yeah.
It's definitely a great weekend for the autumn leaf.
As Frank Sinatra once sang, the autumn leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves.
He didn't quite say it like that though.
No, he sang it, and a lot better than I did. 7.5 minutes after the hour. What happened on Wednesday? We have it all in a nice little package. Steve's going to fill your head full of the information you need to start your Thursday in 1 minute. And it's brought to you by our friends at Cascade Medical. Trained with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. And by golly, wouldn't you know it, that's Cascade Medical, and they're partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
Did you know that our pets can put on extra weight just like us? Obesity is the most common preventable disease in dogs and cats. Your pet's excess weight can lead to health issues like joint pain, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, and more. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff at Paws and Claws Veterinarian Hospital care about your pets, and they can help you keep them lean and healthy. Call Paws and Claws today at 888-PAWS or find them on the corner 4th and Isle in East Wenatchee.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Good morning and welcome to September 27th. I'm Steve Hare, and this is how it looked earlier this morning on South Mission Street in Wenatchee, where an injury traffic accident occurred. Witnesses say it happened around 5:45 this morning in that construction zone area where crews have been repaving the street when a pedestrian was struck by a car. That injured person was transported to Confluence Health for treatment. Police were also seen placing the driver of the car into custody. It's not known, though, if any charges are pending in that case. So we'll have more on that story as more information develops later this afternoon. Also, on the environmental front this morning, lower than desired salmon runs continue to challenge recovery efforts in north central Washington. A fisheries biologist with the Upper Columbia Salmon Recovery Board reports that endangered fish populations are falling short of the 30-year goals that were established about 15 years ago.
Both our spring chinook and steelhead are at some of their all-time lows over the last 20 years or so, especially the fish coming back this year. We've had especially low returns because if you remember 3 years back we had that really big drought in the region in 2015. So the fish that were born in the gravel that year just didn't do as well. A lot less of them survived that drought conditions. And when they went out to the ocean, they just didn't survive as well there either. So this year's return of Chinook in particular is fairly low. The fishermen in the region will know that, given that the summer Chinook fishery closed pretty early. The Wenatchee is going to be closed in a few days, and that's not common. And summer Chinook aren't even listed under the Endangered Species Act. And the spring Chinook also just didn't do as well as they have in previous years. So we're going through a low period. Waiting for ocean conditions to turn the corner. We've had some better conditions in our local rivers with higher snowpack, a little bit cooler summers than in previous years. So we're hanging in there, and our hope is really just that all the work we've done in terms of restoring our local rivers will continue to support those fish when they do come back and make sure that we get more fish out of our local streams.
And again, that's fisheries biologist Greer Mayer talking to NCW Life News yesterday. She works for the Upper Columbia Salmon Recovery Board, which holds its annual meeting today in East Wenatchee. That meeting at the Douglas County Transportation Land Services building off 19th Street. The meeting will provide a status report on recovery efforts within the Upper Columbia River region, which includes Chelan, Douglas, and Okanagan counties. On another front, legislation intended to delist gray wolves from protection under the Endangered Species Act advanced to the U.S. House of Representatives yesterday. Legislation sponsored by Republican Sean Duffy of Wisconsin and Dan Newhouse of Washington State would return management of gray wolves to state control. Management of gray wolves was transferred from the state to the federal level following two 2014 U.S. District Court decisions that reinstated gray wolves under the protections of the Endangered Species Act. Newhouse said the Department of Fish and Wildlife has been asking for the federal delisting since 2013. He says the best available science shows the gray wolf has recovered and is no longer in need of protection. City of Chelan is hosting a town hall meeting tonight to get public input on a variety of issues, including the purchase of recreational land and water access, affordable housing, and an update on the Wooden Bridge project. Now, the proposal to purchase 1,000 acres of land on Chelan Butte may be the hot button topic of the night. Town hall meeting is scheduled to start at 6 p.m., goes until 8 o'clock at the Senior Center, again in the city of Chelan. Well, a Chelan Falls-based company that manufactures specialized wildland firefighting equipment received the Entrepreneur of the Year award at yesterday's Guata Innovator of the Year luncheon. Coaxure owners Kevin and Kyle Cox were honored along with several other award recipients at the well-attended luncheon held at the Wenatchee Convention Center. NCW Life talked to Kevin Cox, just prior to the award announcement.
Yeah, so we build equipment for U.S. Forest Service, primarily wildland firefighters, some search and rescue as well. So they're personal protective equipment, that classic yellow shirt and green pants we all see the firefighters wearing out there. We build those right in Chelan Falls from start to finish, everything right there.
So what's different about this product?
We're the only ones in the world actually that do venting in our clothing. That's one of the #1 injuries for firefighters is heat exhaustion. So we're the only company that does that. Our fit's very different and our style is different from the last 40 years of the Forest Service. So innovation.
So how are you selling the product?
We do mainly, we have distribution, but we also sell direct online to a big e-commerce presence. We're not so much a retail environment, but anybody is welcome to come by and take a look.
Obviously trade intensive, the firefighting industry.
Yes.
So what kind of growth are you seeing in your business?
Big growth right now. Yeah, over the last probably 5 years, double digit every year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's just exploding right now. So we're hiring.
You're hiring right
Yeah.
now. Is that right?
Yeah.
So how do we get in touch with you?
Either our website, just coaxure.com, or you can just call up to the shop and ask for Kevin.
Now, the Greater Wenatchee Area Technology Alliance, or GWATA, hosted the 18th annual event, which recognizes companies, individuals, students, and teachers for their accomplishments in the field of science, or actually science, technology, engineering, and math, commonly referred to as STEM. Also receiving awards were I Spy Fire as the Innovative Technology Business of the Year. Now, here's an interesting one. Foothills Middle School VEX Robotics Team coach Bridget Wiegand won the STEM Educator of the Year award. Wenatchee School District's VEX Robotics Team and Team FBI, a group of Foothills Middle School students, won the Future Technology Leader of the Year award. So there was a double award there for that VEX Robotics program. In fact, here's a video produced by North 40 Productions that profiles their work.
They need to know that it's okay to fail. They absolutely need to fail to find their success. And it's important to have somebody there with them every step of the way to say, great, you failed. Let's try again. I'm their biggest supporter. I mentor them. I give them kind of this guidance. And more than anything, I'm here for them. They're doing these hands-on projects. And later in life, they're going to be able to look back and say, I know how to do that. I know the steps that I need to take, because it's not just in STEM. These are lifelong skills that they're going to be able to tap back into.
Rounding out the field of award recipients at the luncheon yesterday, Porter Lumpkin with Wenatchee Valley College also took home the Problem Solving Innovator of the Year awards. But quite impressive. The grand ballroom at the convention center yesterday, I'd say between 400 and 500 people. It was just filled to the gunnels, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it was great. It was a
great
event.
great program.
It was quick. It ran on time. People enjoyed themselves.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
I thought the way they put that together with a little video vignettes of all the award nominees, very well done. And I'm just continually impressed by what the Wenatchee School District's doing with its robotics program. Bridget Wiegand has taken them to the World Championships now, and she's actually been recognized nationally for her work as a mentor. So, hey, congratulations to all the award recipients.
And they did something unique this year, and I really liked it. I don't know who came up with the idea, but kudos to them. They had previous award winners present the awards for whatever category they had won the award in years past. And I thought that was a nice little touch.
Well, this is 18 years now that they've been doing it. It's a very well-established organization, GWATA, and they're doing some great work here. And actually, it's serving to really attract more business, I think, to the area as well, because we really are developing quite a workforce, skilled workforce, as a result of the STEM programs that we're doing here.
Everybody knows the importance of a diversified economy.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody hitches their wagon to the auto industry, and Detroit falls apart when the auto industry falls apart. You don't want to do that here.
No.
And we're not.
And the kids are also learning that there are other options rather than college or university.
Yeah.
They're learning these skills. They're high-paying jobs, and they do not require a college degree.
Hey, speaking of jobs, I want to do a quick little mention on this. We're going to do a follow-up on this probably next week. I had a nice conversation with the Director of Transportation for the Eastmont School District. I saw him at the volleyball game on a Tuesday night. They desperately need bus drivers in the Eastmont School District. It's been a continuing problem, but it's really been a problem this year. They really need bus drivers. It's a great job. It's a couple hours in the morning, couple hours in the afternoon. It's perfect for somebody who's maybe newly retired and wants some pocket change or just to keep yourselves active.
Patience.
Sherry Poppy's been driving a school bus for 40 years. She was on my show last week, and she's the personification of just somebody who just really loves their job. They'll train you. You don't need to come in there with a CDL. They'll teach you how to drive a bus, and they'll get you out there. But the Eastmont School District really, really needs bus drivers.
Wow.
So get a hold of them. Your IFP keeps falling out.
I know, it's because you keep clipping me a little too far on the right there.
Sorry, it's my bad. I have to clip Steve every morning, for lack of a better term. Anyway, just look into it, okay? They need bus drivers for the Eastmont School District. They already got a shortage this year. I just wanted to throw that out there. Around the region, Wenatchee is at 50 degrees. Let's see, Cashmere, downtown Cashmere, 46. Suburban Dryden, 46. Downtown Dryden, 46. And good morning to Lake Chelan. You're at 45 degrees. Everybody's going to top off in the mid-70s with some high clouds. We're going to take a quick break. But before we do so, Steve is going to let you know how you can get a hold of us.
That's right. If you have news, stories, suggestions you'd like to share with us, you can contact us at our website at ncwlife.com, on Facebook or Twitter, on our social media. You can also write to us by email. Address is news@ncwlife.com. And of course, our breaking news hotline is 888-6295.
The news with Grant Olson at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television. Also available on demand on our website about 5:30 in the evening. Also available on demand on our Facebook page, again, at about 5:30 in the evening. How did the Wenatchee Wild do? Well, they spent most of last night in the penalty box. We'll talk about that when we get to sports. The obscure holiday of the day today. We have Today in History. We have birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike Mignotti's opinion. Kennel cameos and my conversation with Alan Moen. All coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Live this morning from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Hello, Wenatchee Valley. Christian Shaman here with Bay Equity Home Loans.
Make your dream of building your own home a reality today. Bay Equity Home Loans has teamed up with Real Homes to make building your new home a smooth process. Bay Equity Home Loans of Wenatchee offers new construction loans, FHA 3.5% down, and VA 100% construction loans.
Stop on by or give us a call today.
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz, and at 22 after, let's take a look at sports. The Wenatchee Wild skated with a man down for what seemed like most of the game last night. They were in West Kelowna, British Columbia, and they lost to the Warriors in BCHL play. The final was 5-2. There's the Les Schwab scoreboard for you to take a look at. 15 penalties were called, 10 of them, as you can see, against Wenatchee. West Kelowna scored 4 goals on power plays, the first of which came at the 4:35 mark of the first period. The Wild would actually get on the board shortly before the end of the second period. Arch Ecker, our good friend, with a call to the Wenatchee Wild Radio Network, video courtesy of Hockey TV.
Broken up though by West Kelowna. Down in the left corner, there's a shot and a save made. The rebound swatted away by the stick of the goaltender Hopkins. Now back to the point. Shot, score! That got tipped on the way through. I think Barger got a piece of it. Modry took the shot. Stratton in, drop past Souter. Souter hits the brakes, waits up top to the point for Herzog. Herzog over to Gashevsky, he shoots and he scores! And then Souter comes along and hacks it down inside the West Kelowna zone. So the Warriors regroup. Souter comes in, throws a big check right in front of the bench. He gets hit from behind. But that's a costly penalty. And it looks like Souter's got 2 plus the gate, so a check from behind plus the ejection. 3 minutes and 25 seconds, so the Wild not only lose one of their most effective penalty killers, but also a leader of the power play unit and their team captain, all in one shot. Rattles back, Dubois at the right point handles it. Stratton a little stung, but he gets back up. There's a crossing feed, shot, oh, and a score.
The Warriors would add 2 more goals on the night, 5-2 once again. The final, Wenatchee skates at Vernon for a game against the Vipers tomorrow night, and then on Saturday they'll be at Trail to take on the Smoke Eaters. That game is at 7 o'clock. The prep sports calendar is a biggin today. We'll start out with soccer. Manson travels to Tenasket. Omak will host Kashmir. That gets underway at 4:30. Under the lights, Cascade at home against Okanagan, and Wenatchee will take their 4-1 record in the Big Nine to Yakima, the gateway to Wapato, to take on Ike. That's at 7 o'clock tonight down at the Zeffel Stadium. A jam-packed volleyball schedule. Lots going on. It begins at 5:30. Cascade Christian will host Moses Lake Christian. Easton is in Entiat. Manson is at Soap Lake. Elmira, Cooley, Heartline, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young will take on Waterville, Mansfield, Simon, and Garfunkel. Okanagan and Cascade does battle. Kashmir's at Omak, Eastmont at Sunnyside, and Moses Lake will be at Wenatchee High School's gymnasium at 7 o'clock tonight. Seahawks rushed the ball 39 times against Dallas last weekend in that 24-13 victory. It's a recipe head coach Pete Carroll hopes that they continue this Sunday when they travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. And assessing their offensive line play, Carroll says DJ Fluker and J.R. Sweezy both played well against the Cowboys, but it was the ability of the offense to limit mistakes and limit the penalties that made the difference last weekend.
The fact that we did not take the negative plays that set you back against the sticks really was the factor. And so we were on schedule throughout that game, and that's huge. That means you're not getting the major penalties that make you 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20s, and you don't have the sacks that cause those same kinds of situations. And so that was really, I think, the biggest difference that allowed us to stay on schedule and stay. We've wanted to run the football in every game we've played. We didn't allow ourselves by the way we function, and so. Yeah, it's really obvious how the difference, obviously, from week 1, 2, and 3.
More good news for the Seahawks. Doug Baldwin, wide receiver, returned to practice yesterday, but Coach Carroll says they're going to be a little bit on the cautious side on actually bringing him back to play.
Doug's the guy that, we communicate with very directly, and over a long period of time, we'll work our way through it, and we'll just assess how he's doing and how it's going. It's a little bit unknown, how it's going to feel after a day's work right now, and then the next day, and then you put a game under our belt, and then we'll go to the next week, and we'll figure out how is he by Wednesday, and we don't know that stuff yet. We're going to take it one step at a time. He's such a great competitor, and he's so determined to be part of it. He's going to work his way through this, but we got to watch him because he has a tendency to go over the top because he's so aggressive, and so we're going to monitor it and really bank on the fact that he's such a great competitor that he's going to be able to figure it out and put it together.
Seahawks and Cardinals, Sunday afternoon, 1:05 kickoff on Fox. Matt Olson hit a grand slam home run, and Oakland capitalized on another shaky outing. Felix Hernandez, they beat the Mariners last night at Safeco Field. The final was 8-3. Hernandez taking the loss. He went 4 innings. He allowed 5 runs, 3 hits, including 2 home runs. Felix ends his season 8-14. Of course, the big question is Felix coming back, or did we just see him last night in a Mariner uniform for the very last time? Manager Scott Service says they visit with every player about the future once the season's over.
He does have another year in his contract, no question. I know he wants to finish strong, and it'll be up to him. I've talked to our players a lot about, at the end of the season, they have to take ownership, in their career and where they're at, and certainly we have suggestions and you have conversations on where you like guys to go. But they got to commit. They got to commit to do it, and if you're going to make major changes in your game, it does need to happen in the off season. So not just Felix, but a number of our guys, need to get better.
So 157 games in the book, 4 more to go. The Mariners begin their final series of the season tonight. They got Texas, 4 games, first pitch 7:10. Marco Gonzalez will start for the Mariners, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. At 28 minutes after the hour, the obscure holiday of the day today. Today is Crush a Can Day. Take out your frustrations and your anger. Plus, you can be green and environmentally friendly at the same time by crushing up a tin can or aluminum can. There are a few things in life as satisfying as squishing a can in your hand or stomping on it with your foot. It's good for the environment, of course. So I hope you were collecting cans in anticipation of this day. If you have a lot of cans, one of the great things that kids like to do is you put all the cans out in the driveway and just let them stomp all over it. It's good exercise. And you have a bunch of cans, you can take them to the recycle center and get yourself a little cash and let the experts deal with the actual crushing too if you want to do that. My fun fact about recycling 1 can can save enough energy to run a television for 3 hours. So if you crush a can today and get it recycled, we get to stay on the air. Now that's got to be good news. 49 minutes after the hour on this September 27th, today in history. Happy birthday to the Model T, the automobile that changed America. No question about it. The most influential car of the 20th century began production at the Ford Model T automobile plant right there in beautiful Detroit, Michigan. That, of course, is a National Historic Landmark. Now, it started 110 years ago. The Model T made the car affordable for just about everybody and revolutionized transportation and the way of American life. And it all started on September 27th, 1908. This is an unbelievably rare feat. You're not look at that yellow part of that box score. That's the box score from the White Sox and the Browns. Bud Clancy, first baseman of the Chicago White Sox, made baseball history. Now remember, he's the first baseman. He did not handle the baseball 1 time in a 9-inning game. That is almost impossible. For the most games, the first baseman will have, 8, 9, 10 assists at least. He never caught the ball. Nobody ever threw the ball to first base. No putouts, no assists for a first baseman. It happened for the first time on this date 88 years ago. That's an almost impossible thing to do. Happy 64th birthday to The Tonight Show, which made its debut September 27th, 1954. It was called Tonight, starring Steve Allen originally. They changed the name to The Tonight Show a couple of years later. Steve Allen was the original host from 1954 to 1957. He was followed by Jack Parr, who hosted from 1957 to 1962. Johnny Carson, he had his famous 30-year run as the host from 62 to 92. Jay Leno from 1992 to 2009. Conan O'Brien for about a week. And they brought Jay Leno back for another 4 years. And of course, Jimmy Fallon's been hosting The Tonight Show ever since, running strong for 64 years now. And happy birthday to Google. If Google is your internet search engine, when you go to Google today, you'll notice it's got they always put a cute little icon at the top of their page. Google says that today is their 20th birthday. They retroactively claim that today, September 27th, is their 20th birthday. They say they started on September 27th, 1998. Okay, they say so. So there you go. Happy 20th birthday to Google. And finally, we have birthdays at 31 minutes after the hour. The legendary Senator Sam Ervin lived a very long and fruitful life. There he is. Everybody, I think, mostly remembers Sam Ervin from the Watergate scandal, the hearings, the Senate hearings that Sam Ervin was the chairman thereof. Great individual. After Sam Ervin retired, he continued to practice law at his home office down there in South Carolina, and David Brinkley went down to pay him a visit. David Brinkley was going to interview Sam Ervin, and he sat in Sam Ervin's law office. It was a big law office with one of those ladders that go up to the ceiling and on wheels, so he could go around and get all of the law books that would be stacked up 15 feet high. And David Brinkley asked Sam Ervin, so you're still practicing law. What if you take a case and you have to get a book off the top shelf? And he says, I wouldn't take the case. Sam Ervin, born in this state in 1896. William Conrad, who still to me looks like Kelly Hart, my friend. William Conrad was born in the state in 1920, passed away in 1994 at the age of 73. He was the radio voice of Marshal Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke. He narrated the Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoons. He narrated The Fugitive. He was known for his very distinct voice. And of course, he played Cannon on television. William Conrad, born in the state in 1920. And the greatest third baseman in baseball history, Mike Schmidt. 17 seasons with the Philadelphia Phillies, 3 times MVP, led the National League in home runs 8 times, 10 Gold Gloves. Mike Schmidt, the greatest third baseman of all time, is 69 years old today. Those are your birthdays at 32 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break. Still to be had. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNulty's opinion and my conversation with Alan Moen, the coolest guy I know in Entiat. He's got a party coming his way, and he wants you to come see Alan and the crew and his wife on Sunday afternoon. That conversation coming up. But first, let's see if we can get Izzy the dog home. It's Kettle Cameos with Megan McPherson.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Don Davies, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining us this week is Izzy. Can you tell us about Izzy?
Izzy, hey girl.
Izzy.
Come on. Hi, sweetheart. She is so soft and gentle. She's got this beautiful dark brown kind of brindle fur to her. I'm gonna guess, how old are you? Can I see your teeth? Oh yeah, maybe about 3 or 4 years old. And she's really sweet. She's been around kids in the past, and I think once she gets to know them, she'd be fine with them. She is a little shy in the very beginning, but she plays well with other dogs, and she's just a sweetheart.
What kind of lifestyle does she like? Does she like to take naps, be active?
I think she could do either one, but obviously a dog like this, you want to keep them active. I think taking her for walks or even hikes would be good. Because she is a little shy, I wouldn't put her out immediately into a really high volume social area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's just waiting for a home.
If someone wants to adopt Izzy, what should they do?
They should come down to the Humane Society at 1474 Wenatchee Avenue South, to remember where we are. And, or you can take a look at our website at wenatcheehumane.org, and she is listed as the pet of the week.
Do you have anything to say, Izzy?
Oh. You say, find me a home. Take me home. Oh, yeah, you good girl.
The
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Kennel Cameos is supported in part by Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory in Leavenworth. Not only does the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory have great house-made fudge and super delicious candy and caramel apples, but they also have great doggy treats for your four-legged friends, located at 636 Front Street in Leavenworth. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
As the leaves change their colors, Leavenworth prepares for their fall celebration, the Autumn Leaf Festival. All weekend, your family can enjoy many activities, including dancing, live music, inflatables, and the Grand Parade Saturday at noon. Please thank our sponsors who supported this message.
Beyond the beauty of Christmas, Kris Kringle is home to fun Halloween decor from Department 56. The Taffy Shop offers 50 flavors of delicious taffy and other delightful treats. Visit today for a little trip back in time.
Yippee Skippy and Yahoo Wenatchee Valley, Collins Fashions launches our buy one red tag clothing item and get the next red tag clothing item free. That's right, free. Awesome selection of tanks, tees, capris, ankle pants, dresses, etc. Quality brands like Not Your Daughter's Jeans, Jag, French Dressing, Joseph Ribkoff, Tommy Bahama, and many more. Selected sale on Brighton and Lotus handbags and wallets. Sandals from Soft to Nicole on sale as well. Awesome sale, awesome service at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Apple Days is this Saturday and Sunday in Cashmere. This is a family-friendly weekend filled with apple pies, games, live music, and more. The community open house and celebration for the newly remodeled LocalTel Event Center at Pybus Public Market is this Saturday from 10 to 2. There will be tours, live music, activities for kids, and more. For more information and other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Just as the cool mornings and evenings are returning to our valley, Carrier and Alpine Air are offering best-in-class rebates and promotions to keep your home comfortable and safe this winter. Call for your free estimate today. Ask about rebates to $1,650 and low interest, low payment financing. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call 662-6846. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house, featuring great family dining in downtown Chelan. We've got burgers, pub fare, and the best barbecue around. Try one of our award-winning sauces made fresh here in-house. So grab the whole gang and come on down. Stormy Mountain Brewing. Beer, barbecue, friends, and beer.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, you know, these internet dating sites, they talk about matching people up who have similar interests, comparable personalities, by what they have in common, that kind of stuff. You know, I wonder if that's the best way to find compatibility in a life partner. Now, Rosie and I, for example, well, besides our mutual incredible good looks, okay, you know, we don't really have all that much in common. And we've been killing it for almost 40 years. Seriously, if Rosie and I had gone to the same high school, she and I never would have gotten together. Believe me. But as it is, as different as we are, we really got a good thing going, she and I. Spicy, yes. Very spicy sometimes, but good nonetheless. Maybe differences are what makes a good, healthy, and long-lasting relationship, not commonalities. Hey, anyway, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
NCW Life Channel is proud to present the Spotlight on Business. We're going behind the scenes to bring you the story of local businesses throughout North Central Washington. How did they get started? And why are they so successful? We'll answer these and other questions each week with Spotlight on Business, Sundays through Fridays on the NCW Life channel. Leavenworth Oktoberfest. Fall is in the air and so is the aroma of sizzling bratwurst. It's time once again for the Leavenworth Oktoberfest. Enjoy 3 full weekends of fun for everyone. Your thirst will be satisfied with a variety of authentic German beer, and your hunger will be filled with German brats right off the grill. The sounds of Umpa will be delivered in 4 venues with live non-stop entertainment. For information or to purchase tickets, go on to LeavenworthOktoberfest.com.
And welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. There are wineries and then there are premium wineries, and Snowgrass Winery doesn't do things on the cheap. They do things first class. I know that for a fact because I only have Alan Moen on when he's got something first class going. He's a regular guest on my program. He is, in my opinion, the most important person in Entiat. Does that say anything, Alan, come to think of it?
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but it's not a very big town.
It's the gateway to recreation. Alan Moen is here from Snowgrass Winery. They got a big party coming up on Sunday. Before we get going, thank you for the vintage. I can have this, right?
Yes, of course.
This is right out of your fine winery. It's a Merlot, and it will find a home in my tummy in the not too distant future. Before we get into the gist of what we're talking about this weekend, how's the vintage this year? How's the winery going in
actually,
general?
It looks like a pretty good vintage.
Okay.
All around, you know, the hot, dry summer, we were worried about irrigation, but you know, grapes don't take a lot of water, so it was a good spring, so everything is looking good.
Your proximity to the Cougar Creek fire was pretty close. Is the smoke going to play a role in that?
It definitely did, yeah. The smoke, and there's an issue with smoke taint getting into grapes, particularly in California wineries from, well, they had fires in Napa, you know, this year, and it can happen. We have noticed a little bit in previous years, but we'll see. I'm not sure. Never sure if it's going to really be.
There are those wine aficionados who actually prefer that a little bit.
Well, for some grape varieties like Syrah, for example, a certain kind of smokiness is almost desirable.
Yeah.
But we make a rosé from our vineyard, and I really don't want any smoke in it.
No, yeah, that would be. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, a little bit about Snowgrass Winery and what you and
well, we've been in operation about 10 years now, actually. And we started because I always wanted to grow my own vineyard, and we found a place in the Entiat Valley where we could do that. And we find out what would grow. You know, it's a little cooler site than most around here, and some grapes are just not possible to grow there. For example, the Merlot, because it's a cold-sensitive grape. So we have to buy grapes from elsewhere. And most of my grapes that I do buy, I get from the Red Mountain area in eastern part of the Yakima Valley, which is absolutely one of the best places in the state, if not the world, to grow grapes.
Also, not a lot of direct sunlight either, right?
Well, we have good sunlight. Actually, our vineyard faces south, so we get kind of maximum, but we're kind of down in the valley, so the problem is later in the year when the sun is lower, at the time when things need to ripen, that's the tough time. So we're usually picking kind of late into October before we pick our grapes.
But it's going to be a good year.
Oh yeah, very good year. Yeah. It's you know, Washington is amazing. You know, all the wineries around here, the growth in the wine industry. It's really a good thing, and I think it's a good thing for North Central Washington. It's so focused on tree fruit to have another crop that's excellent. You know, I think it's really good for the whole region.
A lot of the wineries, both in the Wenatchee Valley and up in Chelan, which has just been exploding as far as wine country is concerned, they want people to come to their winery. They want them to look around. They want them to taste the vintage. They want them to buy bottles.
Sure.
Is Snowgrass any different from the others?
No, actually, we're very much that way. Our winery is kind of unique. As I mentioned, you know, we have a flock of sheep that we use to mow the vineyard, which is kind of unusual for this state, this part of the country. It's really practiced a lot in New Zealand, which of course has a lot of sheep, and also in Northern California they've been doing it. And it's great because it's a very natural way to do it. It's a lot less, obviously human labor. And the sheep that we use are very small sheep. They're called baby doll South Downs. They're only, a couple feet tall, and they can go right under the vines and get rid of the weeds.
And they have no interest in the actual plant themselves.
Well, they do. They once, they have a good sense of smell, and so once the grapes really start to ripen, that's when we kick them out of the vineyard. But up until that point, they're pretty good at what they do.
And sheep, of course, can serve any number of purposes, like wool and
Exactly. And they happen to have really excellent wool. And,
Well, talk about what's going to happen here. I'm going to hold this up right there. There you go.
Well, what happened here is that we decided, since the sheep we have excellent wool, my wife sort of became a knitter over the last few years. We got the wool spun into yarn, and she started making things from it. Like here's an example. She made me this scarf from the wool of one of our sheep.
It's really comfortable. Really,
it's so soft.
Yeah,
beautiful wool. And then she got in touch with other knitters and spinners, and we decided that there were so many around. It's become a kind of cottage industry. It's really growing as a hobby, that we would have an event, and they could come, set up booths, sell their stuff, and we'd have a wine tasting at the same time. So we've been doing this for 6 years, and it's probably the most popular event that we do.
If you've been doing this for 6 years, how come I haven't heard of it until just now? Has it been kind of a private thing?
No, we publicize it, but at the same time, a lot of it goes to the knitting shops. A lot of the word goes out to people who are involved, in the knitting business, and they're the ones who come, and their customers come. So it's not, it's not something that would appeal to everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
Except the thing is, you could come there, see how it's made. People come with their spinning wheels and show people how they make yarn. And because we have the animals there, it's a great family event too. The kids can come and meet our sheep and whatever.
What time of the year do you actually shear the sheep? Is that the right terminology?
It is. It's actually usually done in May, early after winter's over with. That's when they have the thickest wool. And actually it's good to get some of that wool off them anyway, because once the heat of the summer comes, the sheep would be very uncomfortable if they had all their winter's growth of wool. So that's usually when it's done. And my wife decided she was going to try to shear our sheep to begin with, and then we decided after that experience, we're going to hire a pro to do this. So we have somebody coming every year.
You brought some examples of her fine work. This is really good stuff.
Well, she's always loved stuffed animals, and so she started making sheep from our sheep, and that one's called a Brahm. We gave everyone has a name, and so she started her own business. Our winery's called Snowgrass, so she called it Snowgrass Stuffies, because a stuffy is another term for a stuffed animal, of course. And so she's been making a lot of these sheep for a couple years now, everything from the little lambs, to bigger ones to.
These are work of art here. This is neat. Is what this is.
The magnum opus here is this is a woolly mammoth, and she wanted to do an albino female woolly mammoth. And I think, since woolly mammoths have sort of a Russian kind of context, we call it Anastasia.
Oh.
So she sells her stuff at the Pybus Market, not occasionally, and it's it's just another outgrowth of what we do as a winery. So.
How long does it take her to make, say, one of these?
Good question. It's a couple of weeks, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. She's off camera. You can't see her.
Yeah.
A couple weeks. Yeah.
A couple of weeks. She does the knitting, and I do the hard part, which is stuffing. The stuffing requires great skill. And then after that, she loves to put wool back onto the sheep itself to make them, woolier than ever. And I just want to point out that all this is just the natural color of the wool. Everything that you see here. Is just the way the wool looks. We don't dye the wool or anything. This is just the natural color.
To talk about the sustainability of the winery, because you're doing all of this natural. I mean, that's
as natural as we can.
Yeah.
And well, we want people to come to our winery. Our winery's pretty different. We call it a farmhouse winery. We live in an old farmhouse, and it's right on the Entiat River. It's a beautiful spot. But we don't have a tasting room. We don't have a gift. This is our gift shop. We don't have a gift shop. It's just part of our lives, and in a way, it's like a lot of small European wineries are like that too, and that's something that makes sense to us, and so we never wanted to be too big. We always wanted a hands-on winemaking. I'm the winemaker, and that's the way I do it. You know, I used to work for Columbia Winery and make 100,000 cases of wine a year, and decided I don't want to do that.
Well, first of all, you get quality control.
Absolutely.
And your name is on it, and,
That's right.
and when you're putting your name out there and say, this is my product, it takes
But
guts,
also
it takes
you
chutzpah.
can make decisions that you can't make on a big winery. You know, you can decide, okay, I'm just going to bottle this one barrel of wine by itself because it's so much better than the others, rather than say, I can't afford to do that because we have to produce so many cases of whatnot, you know. And I've been in that situation when I worked for the big winery, and it was frustrating, you know. But when you're on your own, you can make decisions like that.
And that's the cool part about, you know, being your own boss and doing your own thing, is you can do that.
Right, exactly. And you know, it is I mean, like any small winery, you know, it's not easy making sales, you know, getting people to come to the winery. We do have our wine in various locations around. You know, we've got our wine in the Wenatchee Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center, the Wenatchee Valley.
The tasting room there, they have.
The tasting room. And, you know, we've had it numerous restaurants and places, but basically what we're trying to do is sell it at the winery, have people come and visit us. And it is, it's somewhat remote. It's the only winery in the Entiat Valley that has a real location, but we're only 5.5 miles off the Chelan Highway. It's pretty close.
And more than just sheep, I suppose you have chickens and goats and other livestock.
Yeah,
right?
We really have a menagerie. When I said menagerie Merlot, you only see the sheep on the label there, but actually we do have ducks, chickens, we have goats, we have sheep. You know,
they don't get into the vineyards, I hope.
No,
only the sheep are allowed in?
Only the sheep. The sheep are the ones that we use. Yeah, even pygmy goats that we had earlier turned out to be a problem in the vineyard.
Because they'll find their way in, won't they? If you don't.
Well, it's all fenced, you know, and we don't have a lot of property, so we move the sheep around. Once they, you know, mow the grass down in one area, we'll move them to another. It's great because, you know, I only have to use my lawnmower a couple times a year, you know.
Well, goats are goats and chickens are chickens,
Right.
but sheep are different. And you get I know it sounds silly, but do you get emotionally attached to your sheep? You don't have that many.
Oh, very much.
Do you name them?
Very much so. They all have names, and they all have different personalities. It's amazing. And sheep aren't as dumb as you think, you know. Our alpha sheep, Robert, he is somebody you got to keep an eye on, because he will try to escape. He always goes out, you know, on his own if he can, and he will pass by something like a young fruit tree and act like he's not interested. Then when you're not looking, he'll go and remove some of the fruit or the branches or whatever, you know. So we have to keep an eye on them. They're you know, they have the herd mentality, and they are very, you know, skittish, kind of afraid of strangers and dogs and things like that. But they are, you know, their own animal, and you have to learn, you know, what they're like, and they're fun to be with.
Any problems with, well, as you mentioned, you're 5 miles up the Entiat River. Any problems with wildlife interacting with your various?
Not really. You know, we don't get much in the way of large predators in the valley bottom. The only thing that we really have problems with are raccoons, which of course go after our chickens, but I've never seen a raccoon go after a sheep. So
that's probably good news. And of course, obviously, the sheep are there to eat the grass, to keep the grass nice and low. Right. But sheep will.
They also fertilize it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's they fertilize in that?
Yes,
does
they
that
do.
Play a role at all?
Oh yeah, it does, absolutely. But probably less in our vineyard as in our lawns, because we use sheep, as I mentioned, to mow our lawn. You know, and it's great. They do a good job. You know, but again, you know, you get to a certain point and you have to move them on, because they'll eat grass down to nothing. You know, so but it's fun. And it's fun to move them around and, you know, let them do their work, you know. So.
Well, let's wrap up where we started. Let's talk about this wool work for wine, which is a funny play on words. It's this Sunday, September 30th. It's noon to 5 o'clock. People going to show up. What are they going to expect?
Well, they're going to see people there, craftspeople who knit or hand knit things like this scarf here. They'll see, of course, some of these stuffies that my wife makes, and you'll see a whole variety of products, everything from gloves to, you know, scarves, hats, etc. And they'll also see the animals, our animals that we get the wool from, and they'll see demonstrations of at least one person is going to bring us spinning wheels to show how they make the yarn. And then we also have some folk musicians going to be there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they're a couple of women from Seattle. They call themselves the Solia Sisters, and it's Scandinavian music they're going to be playing, as well as Estonian, I guess. And they have the Solia is Norwegian jewelry that women wear. Traditionally, they wear silver jewelry, so they decided to use that for their name. But they're really good. So anyway,
so music, wine, sheep,
and wine tasting. I forgot
wine
to mention
tasting. Yeah, of course, there's going to be wine. Yeah.
Yeah, music, wine, animals, handmade products. I mean, how could you top that?
And it's only $10 because this is
$10. $10, which includes the wine tasting, of course. But children, we don't charge for children or free. We encourage families to come. We'll actually have a picnic if you like. We're right on the river, and we'll have some picnic stuff there if you want to buy some cheese or whatever. So we'll have something to provide if you don't bring things for a picnic. But it's a great place for a picnic, and a perfect fall afternoon.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. And it sounds like a blast. It really does.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it really is. And like I say, we've been doing this for 6 years, and it's kind of a nice way to end the summer and go into fall. And I think it's the perfect time to have the festival.
You're going to get $10 worth of fun. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, well, no question.
Yeah,
and
no question about that.
we also have, I should mention, people bringing their families, that we have 2 new baby goats that they want to meet, and they are so cute. It's unbelievable. So, and they love people. They'll come up to you, and we've usually get asked, show people how to feed them and stuff, and they're very rambunctious, as baby goats are. So it's really fun. So,
well, let me know how it goes. And by the way, as long as you keep bringing me, a bottle of wine, you can come on the show anytime you want. You want to be on all next week, Alan?
Yeah,
we'll just be the guest host, So.
Yeah, well, we're kind of busy this weekend.
I understand.
So, anyway.
For more information, they can just go to Snowgrass Winery, the website. It's right there.
The
I got it.
website is just snowgrasswines.com. Yeah. And our email is snowgrass@nwi.net. So
sounds like a party. Alan, it's always good to see you. I'm glad to see your foot's on the mend.
It is. It is. I'm learning to get around. I have to chase the sheep, so it's got to. I have to get up to speed here. So.
Well, if the sheep ever turn tail and start chasing you, then we'll have a new story.
Then it will really be different. Yeah. They're not going to get me to mow the grass anymore. That's for sure. So.
Alan Moen, my guest. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
As the leaves change their colors, Leavenworth prepares for their fall celebration, the Autumn Leaf Festival. All weekend, your family can enjoy many activities, including dancing, live music, inflatables, and the Grand Parade Saturday at noon. Please thank our sponsors who supported this message.
Providing North Central Washington families and builders with lumber and quality building materials since 1955. Marson & Marson Lumber. Your favorite independent bookstore, A Book for All Seasons, has moved to a new home on Front Street. Look for them by Woody Goomsbaugh next to the park.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. The 16th annual Wings and Wheels is happening this weekend at Eastmont Community Park. There will be a cruise, car show, activities for kids, and more. The Leavenworth Oktoberfest Marathon and Half Marathon is happening this Saturday. Go to teddriven.com/Leavenworth-marathon to register. For more information on other community events, visit ncwlife.com.
Got about a minute left in this program. Thought we'd send you out the door and on your way to work or school with one more look at your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. And there you go. Lots of sunshine today. A few high drifting clouds will filter a little bit, but not bad. High today of about 79. Clear tonight, 55 at the overnight low. Another beautiful day on Friday. There's a cold front that's going to move into the region tonight into Friday, but it's pretty weak. Not really packing much of a punch. Could give us some very light mountain showers anyway on Saturday afternoon and early Sunday. For the Wenatchee Valley proper, we're going to be dry. Leavenworth might get a sprinkle or plain right around there. And pretty much a very pleasant autumn weather forecast, no problems at all. Outdoor plans for Saturday or Sunday looking good. It's a go. Go out and get them. A great show for you tomorrow. Bonnie Orr, my good friend and host of Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees, will be in. We'll put your garden to bed and talk about the big conference that they got going on. It starts today at the Wenatchee Convention Center. So Bonnie Orr, my guest tomorrow. Everybody have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.